So we need to add more walkthrough to the walkthrough educational garden. To do that, we need more rocks for grading and demarcating paths. For the past several years, I've been using plastic 5-gallon buckets to collect rocks from the local creek. This, however, is somewhat painful in the body and soul. So we're going to make a rock carrying yoke to make this task a little easier. You may know yokes or shoulder poles from pop culture depictions of plows and milk maidens of years past, but they are often still used in combination with nets and baskets to help move other heavy food goods and construction materials as well. The yoke makes things easier by giving you the ability to use your shoulder's natural strength to support the weight, while giving you a lower center of gravity. The biggest thing that I find beneficial about it is that it also holds stuff farther away from your body while you're carrying it. And if you've ever been carrying a heavy bucket and it wants to take you out of the legs the entire time you're trying to walk with it, you get why that would be beneficial. This basically consists of sticks, nets, carabiners, cordage, and rope. Nets are craft in and of themselves. They are also an extremely old fiber art. The oldest actual piece of net found has been dated to around 10,000 years old. Artifacts that are debatably net shuttles have been dated to around 40,000 years old, but around that same time period, we have had actual tools, net accessories such as floats and sinkers that have been found to be around that age. And to complete our drawstring net, we will need a net shuttle, a paracord, and a couple of metal rings. I 3D printed the net shuttle and some net cards, and I will make these available on my Patreon. This net style is what would be used in cast fishing. The only difference is that my knot will be allowing the cells of the net, or the holes in the net, to slip a bit to accommodate irregular rocks. This is beneficial when moving materials, but this is not something you want when it is a fishing net because it allows the fish that are slightly bigger than the net hole size you designed to squeeze through that hole. The difference is just how you land the knot on this bottom V section of the previous row. Slipping the V gives you slip, and grasping the V clamps the hole size. So that is an easy way to remember which way to do it. The thicker the rope, the harder it is to lock the cord with these simple single knots. If I did this again, I would probably do a double knot for each of these because some of them did seem to wander a little bit. Circle nets grow concentrically by adding extra loops and sometimes incorporating in a tail from the center. If you stop adding extra loops, the circumference will stop growing and you start to create a cylindrical net. If you have experience with crochet, this type of construction through changing the number of attachment points available for the next row may sound familiar. This is the basis of many textile arts that produce 3D products such as amigurumi. It is basically Neolithic wireframe modeling. This yoke has a simple construction of two wooden dowels round lashed together with a hidden knot. I colored the two dowels with alcohol ink to give it an aged look, almost like I made them out of old banisters I found somewhere. Or at least that was the vibe I was kind of trying to go for. I then gave them a solid couple clear coats to help protect them from water, and this was done before the lashing. The cushion is made out of French cord or I-cord, and that is what is forming this lashing. The two ends of the yokes have a shear lashing style knot to allow for two carabiners to be attached. Just a little touch of modern comfort. I often think about how there is this entire wood and textile age that has just rotted away from the archaeological record. And while we do have some desert and bog examples that have preserved these artifacts, the true extent and beauty of these products that our ancestors were making for tens of thousands of years is just like sand in the wind. And so it's kind of like this ghost art that can only live for as long as whatever the net is made out of can exist. And so, of course, for thousands of years, that was just plant fibers, bast fibers from plants. And so, of course, that stuff just rots away over time. It dry rots before it even entirely decomposes. And so these very ephemeral objects that were integral to human development just kind of fade away with time. And today, many of us forget about how these fiber arts that are so universal to the human experience had to be invented. And all of these techniques, all of these ingenious techniques of creating the textiles that we take for granted were developed so long ago by people that we often consider not that intelligent, but were creating these incredibly complex 3D combinations of fibers to create the new world that we live in now.